What is going on, y'all? Travis here, back with Season 3, Episode 19 of Criminal Minds. Let's jump into it, shall we? We shall. Okay, Morgan with the backwards hat, yes.
Brian Matloff, this is the FBI.
You know I love a
we have
hat
a warrant
moment.
for your arrest. Clear.
Dreamcatcher.
He's going to the roof! You got nowhere to go, man! Matloff!
You about to jump? Ooh!
Hang on, man, I'm coming over there!
Add that to the list of things I would never do.
Morgan, don't do it!
Yes. Oh, shiitake.
He's still alive.
What?
Not for long. Not after that.
Something like this makes you question everything you thought you knew.
It's like the monolith in 2001.
So there was actually a time when something like this was socially acceptable?
You're young. The 80s left a lot of people confused. This is especially sad, though.
Very funny, guys.
Wait,
Very funny.
that
What'd you
is
do to it?
Prentice?
You obviously altered it. Hair.
Oh, no, Pussycat. That's all you. Garfield High, class of 89.
You really didn't change anything.
I hacked it, as is. You're seriously trying to tell me you don't remember rocking that look?
Perhaps your lack of recognition stems from a dissociative fugue suffered in adolescence. Susan the
Shut
Dangerous
up.
Weird. Some other life. What was that about?
Brian Matloff.
Who?
AKA the Blue Ridge Strangler.
That was like 4 years ago.
3 victims in the Blue Ridge Parkway.
He slipped into a coma before he could be tried.
Looks like they're finally going to get their chance. He just woke up.
I don't care if his name's on the file.
Oh.
I gotta go.
How are you, Cece?
That's what it
Good.
said at the beginning. It
Quite
was a
turn,
different
huh?
year.
Thanks for coming down.
So what's your plan?
Plan? Try him and fry him.
Miss Hillenbrand, you can come back now.
Okay. The indictment is still alive, and I want you on board to testify.
Sure, whatever I can do. The indictment may be intact, but the case won't be. Evidence degrades,
I forgot you used to be a prosecutor.
and I got burned more than once.
Well, time hasn't changed the facts. He killed 3 people, maybe more. Who knows? Maybe Rip Van Winkle's ready to come clean.
If you're talking about Mr. Matloff, I'm afraid that's not likely. The patient has focal retrograde amnesia.
Oh, that's
You're telling me he
convenient.
doesn't remember the murders.
Can't even remember his name.
Son of a bitch. He's faking. He's faking it. He's faking it. He's a faker. He bullshitting. Maybe not.
All changes, even the most longed for, have their melancholy. For what we leave behind us is a part of ourselves. We must die to one life before we can enter another. Anatole, France.
He had a type, brunette, young, they were jogging.
Alone early in the morning.
Well, that's about the worst news I could have gotten. Marvin Leopold, our only key witness, died.
EOD.
How'd you know?
I remember he had a heroin problem.
He put Matloff at the park with Darcy Corbett, victim number 3. The warrant and the indictment were made largely on the witness. Everything else is circumstantial.
I could name a dozen killers who got convicted with less.
You're not the one arguing a rail-thin case in front of the 23rd Circuit.
The rocket docket.
The
Dick and
rocket
And I'll go over the
docket.
case with our team. The local detective retired.
I appreciate it.
We're not just doing it for you. We're doing it for them.
Wish I could say it was good to see you again.
This is our newest agent, Dr. Spencer Reed.
A little young, aren't you? No offense.
Untaken neural processing speeds reach their maximum at around age 15. Comes to being affected by crime scenes and other graphic
They
visual
are
input.
young. Look
We're all
at
really the same age.
Morgan.
Tell me what you see.
Ligature marks.
Look at him in his
matched that of
suit.
The previous 2 victims. He uses a belt. Tan line on the wrist means your watch is missing. He takes trophies.
They're always buried face down.
It's a sign of remorse. Can't bear looking them in the face.
He knows them personally.
You don't have to know somebody to regret killing them.
He's opportunistic. His victims happen to be in the wrong place at the right time.
Father, I suppose you guys want a Rochambeau for the privilege.
I'll go.
Go get him, Tiger. It's her, isn't it? It's my Darcy.
Might be, sir, but if it is, you don't want to see her. This isn't a memory that you want.
After the raid on Matloff's apartment, we discovered he had another area of interest, Native American mythology.
There's a Native American belief burying a body face down prevents it from haunting the killer.
That's why he buried them like this?
That was the theory.
3 women in shallow graves. I don't see any progression. There's no learning curve.
Earlier victims when he was honing his skills.
We considered it a possibility. It turned out Matloff worked for the Forest Service. He had free reign over the entire park.
Was raised Polish Catholic. Any idea what led him to
identify with Native American culture?
Another thing we never got was any physical evidence at his apartment.
What about the jewelry he took?
No trace.
So what do you do with them?
Well, if we didn't need the answer to that before, we do now. Turns out our star witness has been dead for 2 years.
He was the only one who could put Matloff at the scene.
Might be another way.
We'd like to request that the defendant undergo brain fingerprinting. Show if the memories of the crimes
Brain
are present in the mind of the
fingerprinting?
defendant,
There's no
regardless
fingers
of
in
whether
your
or not
brain.
he chooses to call them.
Your Honor, where do I begin? The science on this type of testing is unproven, to say the least.
That's
a thing.
Results were ruled admissible as scientific evidence.
This is a Hail Mary, Your Honor. My client is in a very fragile mental state.
What about that? Is it safe?
The test is non-invasive and completely safe.
Subject him to graphic imagery, prompt some kind of reaction. It's perverse. I object to even...
I want to do it.
Just one moment, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Every day I wake into this nightmare of not knowing who or what I am. And if this test can really help me remember, then whatever the consequences, I want to do it. I have to.
Dr. Reed.
Mr. Corbett, I didn't see you in there. How have you been?
Not bad, considering. You aren't buying this amnesia thing, are you?
Trying to figure that out.
Probably something the lawyer thought up. It won't work, will it?
We have a pretty strong case.
That's good. You look different. Your hair.
It's been 4 years.
Right. Forget. Sometimes I feel like Darcy is just messes with time, this thing. You know, you lose time.
I know.
You always hear about
I love his
closure.
hair.
You know, you never really know what that means. Maybe now I can get on with things, you know.
How's Mrs. Corbett? Is she here?
Oh, no, we split up. It was hard to... It was my fault, really.
I'm sure it was just, happens.
It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay now.
You're with the FBI, right?
You don't remember me? We met during the investigation.
He doesn't have a memory.
You don't have any doubts about me, what I am?
No, I don't.
We're ready here.
So my thing is, if he knows
Yeah,
that he has,
I'm at the hospital. I may have something interesting.
he's on trial for this.
Matloff had a visitor that came
And
about
he's being
once
shown
every
those
6 months while he
images.
was here.
There's
It's not a name
already,
I
like,
recognize from the case
bias
file.
that he
The name on the visitor log is
did.
Nina Moore.
Put her down. I gotta go.
stuff, so it would
Tested
elicit
no
a
murmurs
response,
across the
wouldn't
board
it?
on each variable image.
Murmurs.
It's an acronym: memory and encoding related multifaceted.
Is it good or bad?
It means he showed no familiarity with the images. Either he really
None.
doesn't remember.
Or we got the wrong guy.
You can't.
Negative results in
You
the brain
can't convict
fingerprinting may
him
have just
for
killed
that.
any chance we have of putting Matloff away. He can get it on discovery, and you can bet he's going to use it.
So how'd he get over? I thought nobody could beat this test.
The brain injury could have literally deleted his memory.
He did the murders, and we'll prove it. What he remembers doesn't matter.
I mean, if those experiences are gone forever, doesn't that sort of make him, like...
Different person?
Insane.
No.
It's interesting.
Not to me.
It goes to core arguments about the nature of identity. The psychological connection to the past plays a key role in defining who we are.
This guy shouldn't be tried.
I'm not saying that.
One could make the argument that in his current condition, he's no longer a danger to society.
It's about making sure somebody pays for what happened to those girls.
Where are we with Matloff's mystery visitor?
71 in total, no takers.
Matloff's a textbook loner. No meaningful relationships, but anyone who would visit a coma patient, talking about somebody who feels connected.
Maybe connected enough to know the truth.
The beast, he's just a fan. Every serial killer's got him.
We need to build a profile and help locate this woman.
You all right in there? You're screaming.
It's just a dream. Guess I'm anxious with the trial starting tomorrow.
You passed that brain test thing, right? That's good.
I suppose I could get something to write with and a piece of paper. Doctor said it'd be good for...
See what I can do.
Hey, what's that smell?
It's popcorn.
Popcorn.
Bill made some on his break.
Do I like popcorn?
Listen, everybody, are there people out there who
Ladies and
don't?
gentlemen, you are here to bring justice to the families of 3 beautiful young women whose lives were cut short by a cold and calculating killer. Darcy Corbett, Celeste Farami, April Sutherford. 3 women out for a run when they were approached by an employee of the Forestry Service who used his authority to lure these women into a secluded area where he could safely perform the act of murder.
Was it the work of a serial killer? Perhaps. The theory that my client is the responsible party is just that, a theory.
He strangled them slowly.
You have
some of
no
them
physical
suffering from
evidence
terror,
at all?
And in the process, turned the Blue Ridge Parkway into his own private killing field.
No eyewitness, no fingerprints, no DNA, not one shred of hard evidence. The only way that they could tie my client to these crimes, profiling.
At the close of evidence, that Brian Matloff is the man who committed
That's not
these
enough.
crimes, whether he
Not
remembers
enough.
it or not.
Not enough.
You concluded that all 3 murders were perpetrated by one man, and you believe that man is Brian Matloff.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us how you came to that conclusion?
Began to analyze the behavior of the unknown subject. Our goal was to generate a suspect pool. He hunts 200,000 acres like it's his own backyard. Young, strong female joggers, but in low-risk locations.
Like David Carpenter, the trailside killer. Are there other parallels?
This unsub insinuates
Spray
himself
paint
disarms
Morgan's
the
hair.
victim.
Maybe he uses a con, playing the injured hiker.
Too many variables. Call 911 on our cell phone before he gains control.
Control.
He's in a position of authority.
A cop would know better than to bury a body in 2 feet of dirt.
Forest Service would give him access to service roads. By burying the victims in the park, he was able to revisit the scene and relive his acts over and over.
There are a lot of people who work for the Forest Service.
1,718 employees.
He
Damn.
won't be a new employee. He's
In just
organized.
that area?
He leaves behind no trace evidence.
He's the kind of guy who needs to know exactly
I
what
don't
the
know.
cops
They
know.
might have made him grow
Probably
his
inserted
hair
himself
out
into the
to film
investigation
that.
already. Hey, what's that new tech girl's name?
Gomez.
How's his hair so short?
Excuse me, Gomez. Hey, baby girl.
Baby girl?
I just didn't know the real
Evan Culworth.
Birthplace of
What can I
baby
do for you?
girl.
And what did technical analyst Garcia do at that time?
Check names of forestry employees against a list of witnesses interviewed by police.
Were you able to find a common denominator?
Yes, one. Brian Matloff.
Of course it went well. I taught him everything he knows about giving testimony. How'd the jury react? Good. Okay, give me a call after the defense has had a go at him. Reed says things are good at the trial. How'd it go at the hospital?
Her interviews filled in some blanks about the woman who visited Matlock. Late 40s to mid 50s. On her first visit, she didn't even make it into the room.
And on later visits, she'd what, sit with him, talk to him?
Read to him. She asked the nurses about his condition, and they said she appeared concerned.
That sounds almost maternal.
Well, we thought so too. His parents effectively disowned him after the indictment. We called his mother to make
Wasn't
sure
there a
we got
lady-
to talking, and guess what? She's not his mother. And his father's not his father. This visitor could be his birth mother.
Yeah, the
they
one
may have had
lady.
a relationship that no one knew about.
What other physical description did you get?
Brunette, brown eyes, dark complexion, Hispanic. Another one said Mediterranean.
What about Native American?
That would explain his interest in the culture.
He's trying to get in touch with his roots.
Now, my client ran from the police, a behavior that you called a strong indicator of his guilt. Now, were you aware he had an outstanding warrant?
Yes, I believe it was for an automobile accident, hit and run.
Isn't it possible Mr. Matloff fled because of this other warrant?
There were 8 law enforcement officers. I doubt any reasonable person would assume.
Yes or no answer will do.
Yes, it's possible.
Ma'am, I have all that. What I really need now is identifiable information. I know what a closed adoption means. Do you know what a court order means?
Well, we don't have time for court order.
Right, you know what, ma'am? If you look to your cursor, you'll notice it's moving on its own. Me hacking your secure network. I got her file. Now I got her social. Now I'm gonna send your boss those Jamaican vacation photos. Check you out. No tan lines. Nina Genesee, name to Moore, current address Madison Heights, Virginia.
No, I called this woman. She said she wasn't the one. Said she'd never even been to Roanoke. Why hasn't she tried to see him since he woke up?
You've stated that it was your profile that led you to my client's door.
Behavioral analysis was a factor in our investigation.
And was behavioral analysis also a factor in the Olympic Park bombings case?
Yes, it was.
And was Richard Jewell ever convicted of the bombings?
Objection.
Goes to the credibility of the witness and his field.
I'll allow it.
No, he was not convicted.
Because he was innocent. Your profile led you to the wrong man.
But if you look at Eric Rudolph, you'll see that our profile was dead on.
Can't be 100% right all the time.
You have a question in there somewhere?
Having been wrong, isn't it possible that you were wrong about Brian Matloff?
No.
Behavioral analysis is really just intellectual guesswork. You probably couldn't tell me the color of my socks.
Objection.
Withdrawn.
Charcoal gray.
Well, look at that. He got one right.
You matched them to the color of your suit to appear taller. Had the soles of your shoes replaced. One might think you're frugal, but are having financial difficulties. You wear a fake Rolex because you've pawned the real one to pay your debts. My guess is to a bookie.
I am one of the most successful criminal attorneys in the state.
Your vice is horses. Your BlackBerry's been buzzing every 20 minutes, which happens to be the average time between posts. You're getting race results. Every time you do, it affects your mood in court, and you're not having a very good day. It's because you pick horses the same way you practice law, by always taking the long shot.
Wow.
You've been a very good yarn agent, but you've proven nothing.
If I'm not mistaken, the results from the 5th race should be coming through any minute. Why don't you tell us if your luck has changed?
Your Honor, this is...
What do you want me to do? Either show us your BlackBerry or cut him loose, counselor.
Nothing further.
Wise decision. Court will be adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow.
I feel like that could be incompetent.
I just wanted to make sure you knew that cross-examination wasn't as bad as it sounded.
I'm not worried.
Good.
I have a better understanding of things.
When your representation
Understanding?
sucks.
After Darcy died, I started to see a therapist. Had a lot of guilt. Thought that I should have been
Counsel.
there for her. Saved her somehow. I don't. This
Shitty
guy,
counsel.
Shrink. He always brought it back to control. He said I had to accept the fact that there were always going to be things in life I couldn't control.
I think think that's wise.
I realize I have no say over what goes on in that courtroom. See you later, Spencer.
Oh no! Oh, he's gonna kill the guy. Oh no, what if he kills him and he is the one that didn't do it? He's not the one that did it, I guess would be an easier way to say that.
Nina Moore?
Yes?
We're with the FBI.
Come in.
Why didn't you come forward?
I was protecting my family.
They don't know.
I was a kid myself. You give away a child. I know it sounds cold, but you just want to forget about it. Believe it never happened. That's how I lived.
But you maintained a relationship with Brian.
I only saw him once before the accident.
You never got the sense that maybe he was...
A murderer? Not in the slightest. I mean, from what I understand in the news, we met before it started.
When was that meeting?
5 years ago. He just called me. The records were supposed to be sealed. I think he hired someone to find me.
And what did you talk about?
He was interested in my family, my kids. He just wanted to call every once in a while, maybe meet around the holidays, but I couldn't. I could barely bring myself to look at him.
You rejected him.
Whatever he became, I can't help but feel it's my fault.
You can't blame yourself for what he did.
Why did you visit him at the hospital?
Because it was safe. I could be there for him, and no one had to know. And because when I would read to him and listen to his breathing, it felt right.
Car is that out there? Oh.
Hello. Who's this?
Excuse me.
That's a lot to explain.
She rejected him. That was the stressor.
She's just lucky he took no for an answer. Could have been a lot worse if you pressed the issue.
Maybe he did. Mrs. Moore, did he ever send you anything? Any gifts?
I wanted to throw them away, but I couldn't.
The stuff from the girls.
Please, please.
You okay?
Yeah, I didn't sleep last night.
I'm not supposed to do this, but, I brought something. You want to know if you like popcorn, right? So, you remember?
I think I'm starting to.
Oh, shit.
Mr. Corbett, it won't help.
Interception.
I am thinking about her.
You think she'd want this? Give me the gun. You want him to suffer, but he'll be dead. He won't feel anything. You'll be in prison, and you will regret it.
I'm already in prison. How did you know?
Your affect, your behavior. You were too calm yesterday, and you called me by my first name.
You're so good at predicting things. How come you couldn't stop him before he took my Darcy?
Look, I shouldn't say anything, but there's some new evidence.
What evidence?
My name is Nina Moore.
And what is your relationship to the defendant?
I'm his birth mother.
His biological mother.
I gave him up for adoption.
There's something up with that guard.
37 years.
Didn't have a relationship with him.
No, I never saw him until
That
2003.
man's 37?
We met at a cafe.
That man and I are the same
talked
age?
for a bit.
And what did you talk about?
He wanted to be a part of my life. I told him it was impossible.
He was being unrealistic, irrational even.
He was just a little lost. He wanted to belong to something. Turning him away was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. A person can't live two lives. Brian, I'm so sorry.
Did the defendant make any attempts to communicate with you?
A few months after that, I got something in the mail. There was no note or anything, just a postmark from Roanoke.
And what were the contents of the envelope?
It was a necklace. 2 months after that, I got another, and then a watch. I thought he was trying to, I don't know, to persuade me with gifts.
Your Honor, I'd like to enter into evidence People's Exhibits F through H. Are these the items that you received in the mail?
Yes.
And the watch in this bag? Do you see it in this photograph?
Yes, that's it.
The record reflects the witness has identified the watch worn in this photograph by murder victim Darcy Corbett. I have nothing further.
Court is adjourned until 9 a.m. tomorrow.
That might do it. That might do it. A tear?
Rough day in there, huh?
He's gonna kill her?
Cece, I need to talk to you.
Listen, I don't want to jinx this, but something tells me I'm going to be buying your team a round of drinks.
I think he's getting his memory back.
I'll get you undone so you can change. You okay?
A lot on my mind.
He was crying in there when his mother was on the stand, and you don't have that kind of reaction unless you're connected.
You've been watching the trial?
Most of it, yeah.
Today when my mother talked about having to choose one life, you believe that's true?
I don't know what you mean.
Don't you think you'd have to choose?
Oh no.
Fact is, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Don't you want to know who you're putting away?
We're heading over there now. Stand back, people.
What's going on?
Excuse me. You're okay. What happened?
He has my gun.
Oh shit.
Matloff stuck a gun in her face, pulled her out of her car, late model Nissan. Stay wide, we'll block every road out of town. Hey, you know this guy. Any idea where he might be headed?
It all depends on who he is.
You got a hickey, bro?
Did you know? You talk to Matloff every day. Did you know that his memory was coming back?
She can't help us. Matloff was a paranoid personality. Even if he was aware, he wouldn't have told anyone.
Get over to the jail and get into his cells. Look for anything. Assuming his memory is coming back, where's he headed?
Simple answer is his birth mother. His victims were brunettes. He was projecting rage at her.
She's with us protected.
He doesn't have a specific target. He'll either run or go on a spree.
Did we do this? The brain test? Is it possible that it could have acted as a cognitive rehabilitation?
This guy is who he is. It's got nothing to do with us.
I don't know.
Watch, I think I know where he's going.
No.
Any sign of him?
He's got about a half-hour head start on us.
There was a waterfall near the site where we found Darcy Corbett's body.
That's where we need to go.
Why'd he come back here?
He's looking for something himself.
Pretty.
That's him. Blessed. It's him. He's got a girl with him and she's not moving.
All right, let's move in.
If we rush him, he might try to kill her and himself.
How do you want to do this?
I want to go in there myself. Get your shooters high and wide.
Please.
Brian, I want you to show me your hands. Hands, Brian.
Stop! Stop there, please!
Who is she?
She was my first. Minute my feet hit the ground, I knew right where to find her. I killed them.
You remember?
Everything. Every moment. Every tiny detail. I remember. But it's still not real. It's like the memories belong to someone else.
Well, maybe in a way they do. But you still have to pay for what's been done.
Oh no.
If I'm gonna be put to death, I might as well die right here.
The court may show you mercy,
And
but you have
should
to earn
answer
it.
it.
If you
You
believe
should
you're a
answer
different
for
person,
it.
then prove it.
Those parents and those families should be able to tell you to your face in court during sentencing how big of a piece of shit you are and how you ruined their life. Don't take the easy way out. Thank you.
It's over. Matloff's pleading out.
Congratulations.
Couldn't have done it without you. First round's on me.
We're gonna take a rain check. We got a long drive.
Sure. Another time. Lock up when you leave.
We will.
Darcy Corbett's father brought a gun to the courthouse today.
You're kidding. Think he was serious about using it?
I think so, yeah. Looking for closure.
Do you think you'll get some now?
I don't really think so. I mean, people's emotional lives aren't linear. Like, killer's conviction, one single event can just suddenly peace to a man. I just don't think it's possible.
I guess he has to try. What choice does he have?
Agent Reed.
I know it's late, but I wanted to give you the news before it hit the paper. Matloff's changing his plea to guilty. Everyone agreed to life without parole.
You didn't have to come here.
Came to return this.
Aww.
Had them release it from evidence.
Belonged to Darcy's grandmother. They're very close.
I couldn't help but notice the inscription on the back. Glory in the flower? Not familiar.
Poetry was something they shared. It's Wordsworth. What though the radiance that was once so bright be now forever taken from my sight, though nothing can bring back.
He's good.
Thanks.
Though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the grass.
That's cool that
Glory
he's
in the
finishing.
flower. You will grieve not, rather find strength in what remains behind.
Okay. Okay, so this one, I have like conflicting views because while I think that it was a cool concept and I think that the payoff at the end was worth it and it got good, it just wasn't very like exciting. It was kind of boring the first 20 minutes or so, I would say. Like it was kind of like dragging. Like I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like it just wasn't like good. You know, like it was solid, but I do like the concept. I like what they were going for. I didn't necessarily love the output because it felt very slow. It was like a slow burn, you know? I think there's only one more left for this season, though. How are they going to end it? Let me know what y'all thought about this one. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.